There are moments in life when we hold on so tightly to what is familiar that we forget to ask whether it is actually helping us grow. We cling to relationships that have already ended. We hold on to failures that have already taught us their lessons. We grip old versions of ourselves long after we have outgrown them. And we do this because it feels safe. It feels predictable. Even pain can become comfortable when we have lived in it long enough. But life has a way of reminding us that nothing is permanent. Everything we cling to eventually changes, evolves, or fades. And when we refuse to let go on our own, life will step in. It will push us. It will shake us. Sometimes it will break us. Just enough to make us release what we refuse to. The mind is always active. From the moment we wake up to the moment we fall asleep, there is a continuous stream of thoughts flowing in the background. Some thoughts feel light and gentle, while others feel heavy and overwhelming. Many people try to stop their thoughts. They try to silence the mind by force. They try to push away unwanted thoughts through willpower alone. But the more we fight a thought, the stronger that thought becomes. This is because attention feeds the mind. Whatever we resist grows stronger. Whatever we allow passes more easily. The practice is not to suppress the mind, but to observe it. Imagine sitting beside a river. The water flows naturally. You do not try to control its direction. You do not try to stop it. You simply watch it move. In the same way, thoughts flow through the mind. Some thoughts are calm and peaceful. Others are stormy and full of fear. If you try to stop the river, you cause disturbance. But if you let the river flow, it remains natural and balanced. The secret to inner peace is to watch your thoughts like you watch the river. Let them pass. Let them come and let them go. Do not grasp them. Do not chase them. Do not fear them. When a thought appears, you simply say within yourself, I see you. That is all. No judgment. No reaction. No attempt to rewrite the story. You simply observe. When the mind realizes it is being observed, it slows down naturally. It becomes more transparent. It loses its power over you. Most suffering in life does not come from events. It comes from the stories we tell ourselves about those events. The mind constantly interprets everything. It says this is good, this is bad, this is dangerous, this is safe. But many times the mind is repeating old memories, old fears, old wounds. If you observe the mind with calm awareness, those patterns begin to weaken. There is a difference between being lost in thought and watching thought. When you are lost in thought, the thought controls you. You react to every emotion. You react to every memory. If the mind says you are not enough, you believe it. If the mind says you cannot change, you accept it. But when you observe thought, you create distance. The thought appears, but you do not become it. You do not identify with it. You simply notice it like a cloud passing through the sky. The sky is never affected by the clouds. In the same way, your awareness is never damaged by your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go, but awareness remains. Thoughts change every moment, but awareness is constant. If you attach your identity to thoughts, you will always be unstable. If you attach your identity to awareness, you become grounded and strong. Observing thought teaches you to respond instead of react. Reaction is automatic. Response is conscious. Reaction is driven by fear and habit. Response is guided by clarity and presence. At first, the mind may seem loud. It may even seem uncontrollable. But this is only because you have never given it space to reveal itself. When you begin observing your thoughts, you start to understand their patterns. You start to see which thoughts come from fear, which come from doubt, and which come from past experiences. You begin to understand yourself more deeply. Understanding is the foundation of change. You cannot change what you cannot see. Observation brings awareness. Awareness brings choice. Choice brings transformation. This practice does not require silence. It does not require a special environment. It can be done anywhere. While walking, while eating, while sitting, while working. All you need is attention. If you feel a heavy thought rising, simply take a deep breath and observe. If you feel anxious, allow the sensation to be present. Do not try to escape it. Do not try to numb it. Simply watch. Anxiety grows when it is resisted. But when it is observed without fear, it loses control. The same is true for anger, sadness, confusion, frustration. The emotion itself is never the problem. The problem is our attachment to the emotion. Observation dissolves attachment. As you continue this practice, life becomes lighter. You stop taking every thought seriously. You stop believing every story your mind creates. You start to live with clarity. You begin to feel space within yourself. A quiet strength appears. A profound calm grows inside you. You realize that peace was never something you needed to chase. Peace comes when you stop fighting your own mind. Observe your thoughts. Do not fight them. Do not fear them. Allow them to come. Allow them to go. You are the sky, not the cloud. You are the ocean, not the wave. You are the awareness behind every thought. And when you learn to observe, instead of react, you return to yourself. And in that return is your freedom. Everything in life is constantly changing. The seasons change. The weather changes. Our bodies change. Our thoughts and emotions change. The people around us change. Every single day is different from the day before. Yet many of us try to resist this natural flow. We want things to stay the same because sameness feels safe. We want people to remain as they were because we fear losing what we know. We want life to follow our expectations and plans. But the more we resist change, the more we suffer. Change is not something to fear. Change is a natural movement of existence itself. When we look at nature, everything teaches us this lesson. A tree does not hold on to its leaves when autumn arrives. It lets them fall. The tree does not mourn the leaves because it understands that new leaves will come again in spring. The river does not hold itself in one shape. The water continues to flow. If the river stopped flowing, it would become stagnant and lifeless. The sky changes every moment. Clouds appear and disappear, yet the sky remains open and free. Life is dynamic. Life is movement. To accept change is to align ourselves with the rhythm of existence. Most pain in life comes from holding on to what is already gone. We hold on to friendships that no longer grow. We hold on to relationships that only bring suffering. We hold on to identities that no longer reflect who we are becoming. We hold on to memories of who we used to be because we fear stepping into the unknown. The unknown feels frightening, but the unknown is also where growth lives. Every new version of you exists on the other side of change. Change is not the enemy. Attachment is. When we attach ourselves to a fixed idea of how life should be, we close ourselves to the possibilities of what life could be. Attachment makes the heart heavy. Acceptance makes the heart light. There is a quiet power in learning to say yes to change, yes to growth, yes to new beginnings, yes to endings when they must come. Life is not meant to remain still. Life is like breathing. Inhale and exhale. Expansion and contraction. Gain and loss. Every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Every beginning was born from something that ended. When change arrives, many people react with fear. They say, why is this happening to me? But the real question is, what is life trying to teach me through this? Every change contains a lesson. Every transition invites a new form of strength. Growth never comes from staying in the same place. Growth comes from stepping beyond what is familiar. Imagine standing on the edge of a river. You want to cross to the other side. But to cross, you must step into the water. You must allow the current to carry you forward. If you refuse to move, you stay on the same shore, in the same situation, in the same emotional patterns. Life will keep calling you to move. If you ignore its call, life will eventually push you, not to harm you, but to help you become more than what you were. Accepting change requires trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in life. Trust that even if you cannot see the path clearly right now, the path is unfolding. Trust that you have the strength to adapt. Trust that you are capable of becoming someone wiser and stronger through this transformation. When change comes, do not cling. Do not panic. Do not resist. Instead, breathe and observe. Notice what is rising. Notice what is falling away. Notice what your heart is learning. When we face change with awareness, instead of fear, we begin to see the beauty in it. We begin to understand that life is always guiding us somewhere meaningful. Change teaches us flexibility. Change teaches us humility. Change teaches us resilience. Change teaches us to let go of illusions of control. Control is another form of fear. We try to control life because we are afraid to surrender. But surrender is not weakness. Surrender is wisdom. To surrender is to recognize that life is larger than our plans, and that life moves with a deeper intelligence than our mind can understand. Everything you have lost has taught you something. Everything you have gained has prepared you for something. And everything you are experiencing now is shaping who you are becoming. Change is not separate from your path. Change is your path. So breathe, soften, allow the old to fall away when it needs to fall. Allow the new to enter when it is time to enter. Do not rush. Do not hold back. Live in rhythm with the natural flow of existence. True strength does not come from muscle or force. It does not come from aggression or dominance. It does not come from the loudest voice or the most intense energy. True strength arises from a place of deep inner stillness, a strength that cannot be shaken by pressure, opinions, or circumstances, a strength that remains steady even when the world around you changes. This kind of strength is not loud, it is quiet, stable, grounded, and powerful beyond measure. Inner stillness means the ability to remain centered no matter what is happening outside you. It means holding calm when others are reacting. It means being able to think clearly when situations become chaotic. It means staying rooted in yourself instead of being pulled by fear or anger or insecurity. Most people search for strength in the outside world. They look for validation from others. They try to prove themselves. They try to show their worth. But strength that depends on anything outside is fragile. If that external thing disappears, the strength disappears too. Inner strength comes from knowing yourself, knowing your values, knowing what truly matters to you, knowing who you are beyond your successes and failures. When you are rooted in this inner knowing, you do not need to fight to prove anything. You do not need to shout to be heard. Your presence itself carries power. Stillness is not inactivity. Stillness is intentional calmness. It is the ability to stop reacting and begin responding. Reaction is automatic and driven by emotion. Response is grounded and guided by clarity. To develop inner stillness, you must learn to sit with yourself. Many people fear silence because in silence, all the noise of the mind becomes visible. All the worries, regrets, doubts, and memories rise to the surface. But this is exactly why stillness is necessary. When you become still, you start to see your mind clearly. You begin to understand your emotional patterns. You begin to see what triggers you. You discover what fears control you. And once you see these things clearly, they lose power over you. Stillness is the foundation of self-mastery. Without stillness, you are moved by every wave of emotion. One moment you feel confident, and the next moment you feel afraid. One moment you feel peaceful, and the next moment you feel stressed. You become like a leaf blowing in the wind. But with stillness you become like the tree itself. The wind can blow yet you remain rooted. The storms can come yet your center remains steady. Many people believe that strength is built in struggle. But true strength is built in awareness. Awareness comes from stillness. The more you understand yourself, the more power you have over your life. The less you understand yourself, the more life controls you. Stillness teaches you to pause before you act. It teaches you to breathe before you speak. It teaches you to step back before you react. This creates a gap. And in that gap you find wisdom. That gap is where strength grows. When challenges arise, the average mind becomes chaotic. Thoughts race. Emotions rise. Fear takes over. But the still mind sees clearly. The still mind is not overwhelmed. The still mind looks directly at the situation and understands what needs to be done without panic. This is the strength that warriors seek. This is the strength that leaders embody. This is the strength that wise people carry. To cultivate inner stillness, you can begin with very simple practices. For example, sit quietly for a few minutes every day. Focus on your breathing. Let your mind move, but do not follow the thoughts. Do not resist. Just watch. Or you can practice slow movements, such as walking without rushing. Feeling each step. Noticing your surroundings. Bringing your attention back to the present moment. The present moment is where stillness lives. The mind is loud when it is trapped in the past or the future. But when you return to the now, the mind begins to quiet. Inner stillness is also strengthened by discipline. Discipline of action. Discipline of thought. Discipline of emotion. Discipline does not mean restriction. Discipline means choosing what strengthens you instead of what weakens you. When you choose silence over unnecessary argument, you strengthen your mind. When you choose patience instead of impulse, you strengthen your heart. When you choose understanding instead of judgment, you strengthen your spirit. Inner stillness does not mean you avoid challenges. It means you face challenges with clarity. It means you are not afraid of difficulty because difficulty cannot shake you. Stillness is the armor of the mind. Stillness is the shield of the heart. Stillness is the foundation that allows you to stand firm in every storm. You do not need to become a different person to find inner stillness. You only need to return to yourself. Beneath all the noise, stress, fear, and thinking, there is a quiet presence inside you. That presence is your true self. When you learn to rest in that presence, you carry a strength that life cannot break. Strength comes from inner stillness, a quiet mind, a steady heart, a grounded spirit. When you master your inner world, the outer world cannot control you. And that is true strength. Every moment of life, we are taught to chase results. We are taught to measure success by what we gain and what we achieve. We are taught to believe that happiness only arrives when something happens in the future. When we get the job, when we earn the money, when we receive approval, when we reach the goal. But this constant attachment to outcomes creates suffering because we place our peace, our worth, and our identity in something that has not happened yet. We begin to live in a state of endless waiting, waiting to feel satisfied, waiting to feel complete, waiting to feel enough. Attachment to outcomes means we believe that our happiness depends on the result instead of the process. When we cling to a desired result, we stop seeing the journey. We stop appreciating the experiences we are having right now. We stop learning from the challenges, and we begin fearing them. We fear failure. We fear mistakes. We fear anything that threatens the outcome we want. And in that fear, we lose our freedom. Life becomes lighter when we release this attachment. Releasing attachment does not mean we stop having goals. It does not mean we stop working hard. It does not mean we stop caring. It means we commit to the action without forcing the result. We give our very best, but we do not place our identity in the outcome. When you plant a seed, you water it, you give it sunlight, and you care for it. But you cannot force the seed to grow faster. You cannot demand that it grows into a certain shape. You trust the process. In the same way, life unfolds at its own pace. Your efforts matter. Your intention matters. But control is limited. When you try to control everything, you create stress, anxiety, and disappointment. When you release attachment, you create calm, clarity, and inner strength. Attachment to outcomes is rooted in fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being seen as a failure. Fear of losing something. Fear of the unknown. But when you release attachment, you rise above fear. You understand that your value does not change based on outcomes. You understand that growth happens no matter what result appears. You understand that every experience has meaning. Success teaches you confidence, while challenges teach you wisdom. Both are valuable. When we cling to one specific outcome, we blind ourselves to other possibilities. Sometimes life is guiding us towards something greater, but we are too focused on our expectation to see it. When you release attachment, your vision expands. You begin to see options you did not notice before. You begin to adapt naturally. You begin to trust life instead of fighting it. Releasing attachment also strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, you do not break. You learn. You adjust. You keep moving. You do not fall into despair when things do not go exactly as planned. You accept the moment for what it is and then take the next step with steady presence. This way of living is not passive. It is powerful because it returns control to where it belongs. Not in the world, but within you. The world is unpredictable. The world changes. The world cannot be controlled. But your intention, your attitude, and your effort are always within your reach. When you focus on these, you gain strength. When you focus on outcomes, you lose peace. Observation is key. Notice when your mind demands a specific result. Notice the tension that arises. Notice the fear of failure. Notice the pressure in your chest. Then breathe. Step back. Ask yourself what you can do right now. What step can you take in this moment? Place your energy there. Let go of everything else. Releasing attachment also deepens presence. When you are not living in the future, you return to the now. And the now is where life is actually happening. When you taste your food, you taste life. When you walk and feel your steps, you feel life. When you speak with someone and give your full attention, you connect deeply. Life becomes richer. Life becomes more real. The mind will try to pull you back into wanting, controlling, and expecting. But awareness breaks this pattern. When you become aware of attachment, you can release it. When you release it, you are free. Freedom is not living without goals. Freedom is living without being controlled by outcomes. Freedom is giving your best and trusting that whatever comes has a place in your growth. Freedom is being at peace with what is and courageous enough to move toward what can become. Release attachment to outcomes. Do not chase the finish line while missing the journey. Do not measure your worth by results. Your worth is inherent. Your presence is enough. Your becoming is already happening. Life is always moving forward, yet many people live trapped in the past. They carry old memories, old mistakes, old pain, and old identities. Instead of walking into the present moment with open awareness, they walk while looking backward. This makes the journey heavy. This makes every step difficult. When the mind lives in memory, it cannot see clearly what is right in front of it. It cannot recognize opportunities. It cannot feel joy. It cannot grow freely. To truly live, we must learn to walk forward with presence and not be controlled by memory. Memories are useful when they offer lessons, but memories become harmful when we use them as prisons. Some people stay stuck in regret, repeating the same moment again and again inside their mind. Some people hold on to past affection and cannot accept that seasons have changed. Some people cling to an old version of themselves, refusing to grow because growth requires letting go. But the past is already finished. It has already served its purpose. What remains is only the meaning we choose to give it. Walking with presence means returning to the now. The now is where life actually happens. The breath is in the now. The heartbeat is in the now. Action is in the now. Peace is in the now. When we are present, we meet life directly. We see things as they are instead of as memory told us they were. Presence clears the mind. Presence strengthens the heart. Presence awakens true awareness. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can shape the future. And the only moment where the future can be shaped is this one, right here. When the mind keeps replaying the past, you lose the power of the present. It is like trying to drive forward while staring into the rear mirror. You will crash. To move forward, you must look forward. The past is a teacher, not a destination. Walking with presence also means not predicting pain based on past experiences. Many people fear trying again because something hurt them before. They assume that what happened once will happen again. But the world is not repeating itself. The world is new every day. You are not the same person you were back then. You have learned. You have changed. You have grown. Every new step deserves to be taken with fresh awareness, free from old fear. Memory should support you, not restrict you. Let it be like a book from which you learn, not a chain that holds you. When a memory rises, allow it to rise. Look at it with clarity. Understand what it taught you. Then release it with gratitude. The moment you release it, your heart becomes lighter. Your steps become stronger. Your spirit becomes clearer. Presence allows you to respond instead of react. When you are present, you do not bring old emotions into new situations. You do not assume. You do not project. You do not judge before understanding. You meet each moment as if it is entirely new. Because it is. This is how wisdom grows. This is how peace expands. There is an ancient teaching that says when walking, just walk. When eating, just eat. When listening, just listen. This means give your complete attention to the moment you are in. Not half of your attention. Not distracted attention. Full attention. When you give full attention to the moment, the mind becomes quiet naturally. The heart becomes calm. There is no inner noise, only presence. Presence is not an idea. Presence is a practice. You practice it every time you slow your breathing instead of rushing. You practice it every time you notice your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. You practice it every time you choose awareness instead of mental noise. Presence is like a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it becomes. Walking forward with presence also means trusting life. Trusting that the path will show itself step by step. You do not need to see the entire journey. You only need to see the next step. When you are present, that next step becomes clear. When you are lost in memory, everything becomes confusing. The mind tries to control everything. But control is a form of fear. Presence is a form of trust. Trust that you have the strength to walk forward. Trust that you have the wisdom to learn along the way. Trust that the future holds growth, even if you cannot see it yet. The past does not define you unless you allow it to. Your identity is not fixed. Your spirit is not trapped. You are capable of change. You are capable of becoming more than you have been. Walk forward with presence. Let the past rest where it belongs. Do not drag it with you. Do not let it shape the possibilities of your life. You are here now. You are breathing now. You are alive now. And this moment is full of potential. When you live with presence, you walk with peace. You walk with strength. You walk with clarity. You walk with freedom.